After my dramatic event at Wei Jasper, myself and Al invested the time and money to go back there 2 weeks later in hope to replicate the encounter. We overpacked all of our most important equipment and caught a flight from the Gold Coast to Canberra, then hired a car for our journey south. We met with Scott Bromley, who had the 2017 sighting in the same location, along with his son Ed. We camped at the furthest end of the park, where the Yowie made his appearance 2 weeks prior, and set up close to the bushline. This time the cameras were set up on tripods, with further cameras on standby. A directional mic was facing towards the forest. Al broke out the parabolic, linked it with the recorder and focused on the surrounding bush noises.
I can hear a silver-breasted tit. I was going to say I can hear something walking. It's you.
It was a lot colder this time, with the temperatures below zero at night.
Oh, it's so cold. 0 cold outside.
Baby can't wait. Really gotta go.
I set up a recorder in a large tree in the forest, which overlooked our camp. Because it was so cold, I insulated it. I also wanted it to be optical in hope that it would be handled, so I chose a bright purple cover rather than camouflage.
Test 1 2. Okay, this is Dean Harrison, phone number 0419.
555 5555.
The date is the 28th of May 2025.
Below zero temperatures can zap your equipment's batteries in a flash. Then you have no flash. We then set the movement sensor with an audio alert to the entrance of a cave, along with a light sensor. So we had both audio and visual indications if anything was coming or going from that cave. Al located a large bare footprint heading towards the cave, too large for human, and nobody in their right mind, other than Scott, would have exposed their feet in this climate.
Comes out of the... What's that about?
Is that one? Yeah, that's right. So its toes here. It comes all the way down to here. Look at it. It's massive.
At one stage, we were visited by a local. He shared his information of the area, including other Yowie sightings. Now, according to this prominent figure, the Yowies turn up around the same time each year. Sometimes sighted, they make signs and symbols and leave again before June, before the snow season hits. It's known but not spoken about. During the day, we spent a lot of time in the caves. I had some experience caving in South America. Narrow confined spaces aren't normally my thing, but I headed down anyway because I was curious. And they seem to go on forever. There's areas where you can walk upright, areas where you need to bend over and crawl. A lot of tunnels down there that we never reached the end of. Come night time, we broke out the thermal cameras and the parabolic. We all ventured away in different directions to cover as much ground as we could. Myself, Scott and Ed visited the showers on separate occasions to replicate Scott Cooper's movements on the 2 nights of his sightings. We would turn on the hot water, create some steam, light flicker and a bit of noise. We repeated this method for the 2 nights we were there.
Very quiet.
Copy.
There's no noises out in the forest at all during this trip, unlike the previous visit where the bush was alive and mobs of kangaroos were abundant. This time it was very, very quiet. It felt different. There was almost no animal life out there, other than a kangaroo I hit on the way home. but I wouldn't exactly call that life. We left disappointed not to have a result, but the time that we had together was a lot of fun. Another adventure under our belts and memories to last a lifetime. When I arrived back at my office, I sorted through the camera audio files from the trip. The recorder I left in the fork of the tree, which overlooked our camp, had a recording on it that was curious. It was very consistent, like heavy breathing. The tone and rhythm was like breathing, unlike a possum, which is spasmodic in rhythm and also in tone. It's up and down, and there's gaps and it's everywhere. Sounds a little bit different. And also we've sent it to wildlife experts and they're confused as well. But it's not just that. It's the thumps, followed by a bipedal walking away from the recorder. Perhaps we weren't alone after all. The last part of this recording has been amplified. You'll hear it when I turn it up. Now, I'm not sure if that's a possum. Not quite the same. But it wasn't just the recording of the vocals. It was the bang noises, the thumps, and then the what seems to be bipedal walking away from the recorder. That was interesting. This happened during the night and while we slept. The next trigger was the recorder turning on with birds singing, and it was morning. Now, I chose this position because it was the perfect vantage point to observe us. It's where I would have chose. It was the height of the recorder was about 8 feet in the fork. It would have been the perfect position for a 9 feet creature to be leaning into it as it's looking through the fork towards us, if that was the case. Myself and Al slept in our vehicle. Al snored like the human chainsaw that he is all night. Scott and Ed were further away in the caravan, so the thuds may not have been quite as audible to any of us. After my encounter 2 weeks prior, I did return the following morning to look for signs from the previous night. Because the area is so thick and with many broken and down trees, it was hard to tell exactly what was recent or the most recent, and many of them fit the bill. When Tony Healy visited at the time of interviewing Scott Cooper, a tree came down for him also, but he didn't have the vocals running on heavy footfalls or the snapping of foliage as something was running towards him. I was just at the right place at the right time. Thanks for listening.
I'll show you things you wouldn't believe. Wouldn't believe.